Islands.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Government House murder acquittal. The verdict returned after 1 hour of deliberations. The government's bid to stay the citizenship ruling remains in limbo. And 74 new cases of COVID on June 29th. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, July 1st, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll have the latest on what is now Tropical Storm Elsa. And later in Morning Blend Business, we are again talking about Grand Bahama, more on the challenges the island is facing and what needs to be done. We're getting some different and new views today. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for The Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping at the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, able seaman Javon Seymour's family proclaimed his innocence immediately after he was accused of the murder of Petty Officer Percival Perpaul and the attempted murders of Marine seaman Ellis Ramming and Calvin Hanna at Government House back on April 28, 2019. A Supreme Court jury reached the same conclusion yesterday and unanimously cleared Seymour of all charges after about an hour of deliberations. After the jury vindicated him, Seymour hugged his attorney, Mario Ducil. By contrast, there was no visible reaction from Paul's two daughters. Outside court, the family formed a prayer circle and praised to God for vindicating Seymour. They also prayed that the Paul family gets justice as his killer is still at large. The prosecution's case hinged on the testimony of Ramming and Hanna, who identified Seymour as the gunman. Ramming and Hanna testified that Seymour also fired multiple shots at them, but missed. Seymour was also acquitted of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger the lives of Ramming and Hanna. Based on the identification of his colleagues, police arrested Seymour at his apartment about 2 hours after the fatal shooting. He told them he had arrived home a few minutes before they arrived. Seymour was already aware that he'd been accused of the murder and denied involvement in the crime upon request. The prosecution alleged that Seymour was angry because Perpaul had reported him AWOL which could have potentially caused him to forfeit 1 month's salary. The jury also heard that Seymour had allegedly threatened to shoot Perpall when they were stationed in Ragged Island because he didn't allow him to use a satellite phone to call his girlfriend. The government granted leave to appeal to the Privy Council, a landmark ruling on citizenship, but its application for a stay remains in limbo. Court of Appeal President Sir Michael Barnett saying yesterday that, quote, on the issue of the stay, we're going to adjourn the completion of that matter. Last week, the Court of Appeal affirmed a 2020 ruling by Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder that every person born in the country shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at birth if either parent, irrespective of their marital status, is a citizen in the Bahamas. Winder's ruling allows children born out of wedlock to Bahamian men and foreign women in the country to be entitled to citizenship from birth. Environment Minister Romuald Ferreira says the government is inclined to reject Bahamas Petroleum Company's application to extend its 4 southern licenses to drill for oil in Bahamian waters until it pays its outstanding fees. Ferreira telling the Nassau Guardian that they have a number of outstanding fees that need to be paid before that renewal, and that, quote, we cannot even consider their license beyond the philosophical concepts of exploring for oil, beyond the expectations of the Bahamian people. If they don't pay their licensing fees, we're wasting time here. Tourism Minister Dionisio Diaglo says if the owners of the long-disputed property leading to Cabbage Beach don't provide public access to the beach, then the government would have to exercise its right of eminent domain and secure the property. Diaglo telling the Nassau Guardian they've met with the Attorney General's office and are digesting the fact that the vendors and Bahamians in general want access to that beach. The Ministry of Health reporting 74 cases of COVID-19 in its latest dashboard for June 29th. The majority of the new cases, 59, were on New Providence, with 4 on Grand Bahama, 7 on Bimini and Cat Key, 2 on Eleuthera, and 1 each on Abaco and Andros. This drove the total number of COVID cases reported in the country since March 2020 to 12,699, a total of 41 people hospitalized with COVID, with 3 cases in the intensive care unit. The ministry says there are 778 active cases, but 11,589 recovered cases. Meanwhile, Health Minister Ramroot Wells says that the National Reference Lab has been temporarily closed due to COVID-19. He says that as it currently stands, they've had a number of COVID positives in the lab, and the lab is, as a result, not doing tests right now. All the RT-PCR testing has been moved to Doctors Hospital for the moment. Overseas, China will not allow itself to be bullied, and anyone who tries will face broken heads and bloodshed in front of the Iron Great Wall of the 1.4 billion Chinese people. That's a quote from President Xi Jinping at a mass gathering today to mark the centenary of the ruling Communist Party. Wearing a gray buttoned-up suit of the type worn by Mao Zedong, Xi spoke from the balcony of Tiananmen Gate, emphasizing the party's role in bringing China to global prominence and saying it would never be divided from the people. Xi, who is head of the party and leader of the world's largest armed forces, also said China had restored order in Hong Kong following anti-government protests in the semi-autonomous city in 2019, and he reiterated Beijing's determination to bring self-governing Taiwan under its control. He received the biggest applause when he described the party as the force that had restored China's dignity and turned it into the world's second-largest economy since taking power amid civil war in 1949. Xi's comments coming as China is enmeshed in a deepening rivalry with the United States for global power status and has clashed with India along their disputed border. China also claims unpopulated islands held by Japan and almost the entire South China Sea, as it threatens to invade Taiwan, with which the U.S. has boosted relations and military sales. Beijing also faces criticism that it is guilty of abusing its power at home, including detaining more than 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities for political re-education in the northwestern regions of the country, and for imprisoning and intimidating into silence those it sees as potential opponents to Tibet, from Tibet to Hong Kong. In sports, the days of the Golden Girls and the Golden Knights are gone. Up to the deadline of the qualification, it appears that the women's 4x400 meter relay squad will be the only relay team from the Bahamas will head to the Olympic Games. The team of Denisha Anderson, Shauna Miliwibo, Megan Moss, and Antonique Strawn, in that order, clocking in 3:29.40 at the Blue Marlin Last Chance meet at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium on Monday, and that time has apparently held up as the fourth fastest among the non-automatic qualifiers in that event. The top 8 teams in the men's and women's 4x100 meter and 4x400 meter and mixed relays from the 2019 World Athletics World Championships in Qatar automatically qualified for this summer's Olympics. The same is the case for the 2019 World Relay Championships, but some teams qualified twice, leaving spots still to be filled. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. And Salwa Eid Nasser, the 23-year-old Bahraini who blazed to the third fastest time in history in the women's 400 meters at the 2019 World Championships, has been banned. The ruling was handed down Wednesday as the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Switzerland, the world's highest court for sport, upheld appeals from World Athletics and the World Anti-Doping Agency, which challenged an October 2020 ruling that threw out one of Nasser's 3 missed tests in a 12-month span, thereby clearing her from any doping violation. Any combination of 3 missed tests within a 12-month period by an athlete constitutes a whereabouts failure violation. Nasser's suspension starts immediately and will run into the early months of 2023, giving her credit for time served in a provisional suspension from June 4th, 2020 to October 14th, 2020. In essence, she will miss this upcoming Olympics in Tokyo and the 2022 World Championships in Eugene, Oregon. You can read more about what this means for one of Shauna Miliwibo's main rivals in today's Guardian Sports section. And overseas from the NBA, Monty Williams wasn't named NBA Coach of the Year, but he has something more monumental. A trip to the NBA Finals, while Chris Paul was emotional last night after the Phoenix Suns eliminated the Los Angeles Clippers 130-103 in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Williams was taking joy in seeing his players celebrate. Williams and Paul hugged after the game and took in the moment, even though there were plenty of tears from Paul. There were none from Williams, just joy. Again, they are the Western Conference champions, waiting to see who wins in the East. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got tropical moisture that continues to enhance showers and thunderstorm activity as it streams across the islands. Meanwhile, high pressure will generate moderate to fresh breezes over the area as well. Quite a few warnings today. Mariners being advised to be on the lookout for waterspout activity during showers and thunderstorms and expect localized flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas. Beachgoers should be alert for rip currents along east and southeast coast beaches in the central and southeast Bahamas. And again, when it's not raining, we're expecting temperatures to be in the the heat indices to be in the triple digits this morning, today, and we're asking everyone to remain hydrated throughout the day today. For all areas, your forecast calls for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, again, some heavy at times through tonight. Small craft caution remains in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas, and gusty winds and higher seas are expected during showers and thunderstorms today. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwestern islands, increasing to 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeastern islands. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the northwest Bahamas, but building to 4 to 6 feet in the central and southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we're expecting highs to get up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics and tell you about Tropical Storm Elsa. That's coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne. Nope, not yet. Laverne Gardner. We're going to get you sorted out there. All right. She's going to be joining us in just a second. You can join the conversation. We are on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us, morningblend@nasgard.com. Or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-GR96, 422-4796. Remember, standard text rates apply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic, and later in the show, we're going to be talking in Morning Blend Business about Grand Bahama, more on the challenges the island's facing and what needs to be done to get things back on track, get things going. But we have a lot to get to in the news today. We are keeping an eye on the tropics. We've got now Tropical Storm Elsa, and we do need to be paying attention to that one. We have a lot of news here to get through this morning. And so let's begin with what's in the news. And in the news, the big headlines in the papers: Government House murder acquittal, verdict returned after 1 hour of deliberations. This is a big story, folks. Artesia Davis, our Guardian senior reporter, writing about this today. Able seaman Javon Seymour's family proclaimed his innocence immediately after he was accused of the murder of Petty Officer Percival Perpall and the attempted murders of Marine seamen Ellis Ramming and Calvin Hanna at Government House on April 28, 2019. You may recall they were saying that from that time. Well, yesterday, a Supreme Court jury reached the same conclusion and unanimously cleared Seymour of all charges after about an hour of deliberations. After the jury vindicated him, Seymour hugged his attorney, Mario Ducil. By contrast, there was no visible reaction from Perpall's two daughters. Outside court, the family formed a prayer circle and praised God for vindicating Seymour. They also prayed that the Perpall family, gets justice as his killer was still at large. The prosecution's case hinged on the testimony of Ramming and Hanna, who identified Seymour as the gunman. Ramming and Hanna also testified that Seymour fired multiple shots at them, but missed. Seymour was also acquitted of possession of a firearm with the intent to endanger the lives of Ramming and Hanna. Based on the identification of his colleagues, police arrested Seymour at his apartment about 2 hours after the fatal shooting. He told them that he'd arrived home a few minutes before they arrived, and Seymour was already aware that he'd been accused of the murder and denied involvement in the crime upon arrest. The prosecution alleged that Seymour was angry because Perpall had reported him AWOL, which could have potentially caused him to forfeit 1 month's salary. The jury also heard that Seymour had allegedly threatened to shoot Perpall when they were stationed in Ragged Island because he didn't allow him to use a satellite phone to call his girlfriend. Prosecutor Terry Archer told the jury that Seymour was prone to violence. A police officer testified that Seymour fought him at the Carmichael Road police station when he tried to handcuff him. In his testimony, Seymour said that he didn't have a problem with Perpall. He also claimed other witnesses could verify that he wasn't at the scene of the crime. According to Seymour, he went to a Valley Boys Junkanoo party from 11 p.m. on April 27th and left around 2:30 a.m. After the party, Seymour testified that he attended a soca concert at Superclub's Breezes. Seymour called alibi witnesses who confirmed that Seymour attended both events. The witnesses, inclusive of Seymour, claimed that there was video evidence that he was elsewhere. However, Archer pointed out that the defense had failed to produce the alleged videos. Ducil focused on the lack of scientific evidence linking Seymour to the scene. Police swabbed Seymour's hands and the hands of the Marines who were present at Government House for gunshot residue shortly after the incident, but results were not available at trial. Okay. Laverne Gardner is with us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, it's very, very wet here. I don't know what's happening.
Likewise.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Just started raining here. Yeah.
It's been raining most of the morning, and the streets are flooded, so people need to be very careful.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is wild. Yes. This is very wild. I'm going to repeat that last paragraph there. Police swabbed Seymour's hands and the hands of the Marines who were present at Government House for gunshot residue shortly after the incident, but the results were not available. Results were not available for trial. The trial this year, 2021, this incident from 2019, the results were not available. Okay.
Yeah, I was stuck on that too. I'm listening, saying, "Is that a typo?"
No.
Then I started thinking, didn't this happen like 2 years ago? How are the results not available for trial? I don't know.
So, okay. Bahamas is a very special place. Very special place. Folks, let's see. Do you have any comments on this? Do you want? What can we say on this? Let's hear what you've got to say. Two of the people who were shot
Right.
identified the shooter. but that's not enough.
Right. Well, I'm thinking, because of course, neither one of us are there in
Right.
court. But I'm thinking if you're sitting, something has happened that the jury agrees that he's innocent. So what was playing out in the court? Was it that the prosecution wasn't ready? Because in the face of two witnesses saying that, yes, this is the person who shot at me, but then you also have witnesses saying, hey, he was at the party, and yes, we went to the club, then you don't have the evidence that you need as the prosecution 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't privy to all of the testimony, but I guess it was enough to raise reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors.
Perhaps. Well, the Tribune is asking a good question. Well, they're saying, so who did kill Officer Purpall?
Exactly.
2 years later, that person just walking around.
That's right. Because I'm assuming, I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs of how it works, but they felt that they had the person. I am sure they didn't continue to actively look for anybody else.
You know that.
They thought this was a closed case.
Yeah, they certainly did, as did many other people. Well, the jury didn't feel that way.
Right.
I don't know if this means anything. All women, I'm just saying, just letting you know, not saying that means anything. But
yeah, Dwight, because let me change my tone of voice on you. Why'd you just put that in there? Let me change
on
my
a
tone
point of
voice.
information. On a point of information. But okay.
I think you and I are gonna have a conversation.
I'm just letting you know. Just providing the facts.
On the commercial
On the break,
break,
you're gonna
you and
have
I
to
are
talk.
gonna have a conversation.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
I'm still saying I need to know all of the testimony.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in there? Because like I said, we only know that two other officers identified him and said, yes, he was the shooter. And so we need to find out what other testimony, or maybe the way that they testified. I'm just trying to figure out, what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, did you not know you were going to trial?
Well,
How do you not have these results available?
Well, that's apparently the question that must be asked before every trial in this country. Did you forget?
Do you have your evidence?
Oh boy. Okay.
I've been waiting for 2 years. Do you have your evidence?
My, this is something else. Okay, let's hear what you got to say, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's read some of these messages. Someone says, no gunshot residue results, and you go on with the trial? You've got to be kidding. I smell a rat. The Bahamas is not a real place.
Wow.
Someone
It's
said,
also interesting, though, too, that the defense didn't have their evidence either, because they were claiming, according to what you read, that they had video evidence showing that Mr. Seymour was at these places.
right.
But they didn't present it either.
Yeah. It's like you just could say anything. Just say it. That's good. We got it if we have to prove it. We got it. Oh, okay.
I got it.
Yeah.
But, so
Well, they say they have it, so that's good enough for me.
This case was going on without any evidence available. So I guess maybe it just came down to whose side was more believable. I don't know.
Well, this is what we wonder about all the time, right? People can say anything and you can get arrested. You could say anything and cause the police to arrest you and hold you for quite a while, sometimes even charge you based on what somebody said. Evidence, where is it? It's very concerning. Yeah. Another one here. Not one of them saw the shooter, and it's obvious that the jurors don't believe the testimony. Well, they say they did see them. They did see the two survivors here, the two witnesses say they did see who shot them. But apparently the jury wasn't convinced. All right, is that a call? Yeah, no? Okay.
They ID'd them. They ID'd Mr. Seymour,
Mm-hmm.
according to the testimony. So,
Well,
I don't know.
all right, well, that is that. So what happens now?
Right.
What
Where
happens
do
now?
they go from here? Do the police now
Reopen the case?
reopen the case?
Or is that just the end of that, as is the case with so many high-profile murders in this country? They just are unsolved, cold cases. Bam, there you go. That's that. Let's move on.
Yeah. The family, if this person is not the killer, then who is? How does the family really have any closure?
Well, all right, this message here, someone says they're blaming the Attorney General, okay? Again, calling into question whether he can win anything. Anyway, they said this was like a slam dunk case. Time for me to speak in my Bush lawyer voice. I've known people convicted of murder with less credible witnesses, so to say our courts don't even believe the testimonies of active defense force officers is a serious indictment on our military. This case set precedent for future officers' testimonies. This is serious.
I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know what happened in the court, but whatever happened in the court, the defense, I guess, whatever the case that they presented, even though they did not have evidence to show Mr. Seymour at these places that he said that he was, and the witnesses said that he was, I guess they presented a stronger case, a stronger argument.
The partiers versus the defense force officers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey. Another one. Dwight Laverne. This place is called the Bahamas. It's not a real place. How long are we going to continue to accept that, though? This has become the thing that everyone says.
Yeah.
So we just, that's just us from now on forever. It'll never be a real place.
Real place.
We are going to
Right.
try to fix it. We are going to try to make it kind of real even. How long? We just
Nothing.
throw up your arms and say, oh, well, that's the Bahamasing. How long? All right. Well, yep, another text here. Don't underestimate the reason why no gunshot residue was not presented. They had the results. If it was positive on the man they brought to trial, we would know. My question now, was it positive on one? Oh, boy, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, come on then. Well, then what's the problem? So if that's the case, if it was somebody else, prosecute that person. What are we doing?
Where
Saving
is that-
face?
Where is that person?
Ah, boy. Okay. All right. More messages coming in. Again, you can continue to message us or call 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. This one says here, so there was no surveillance footage at Government House. Is there a surveillance system now?
That's a very good question.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to read that one. Okay. That's some serious stuff. Let's take some of these other
And
calls.
this is why people then text and say the Bahamas is not
Yes.
a real place.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Yep, let's take these calls. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
How are you?
Doing well.
All right, so I want to agree with the text that, this is a very serious situation because Government House is supposed to be like the highest security guarded establishment in this country because of the GG's position. And if you could have a murder there of a military personnel and it's unsolved, we really should be concerned as a people. You know, this is beyond being lax. This is, like a major security breach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could somebody execute the Prime Minister's policy? You know, how tight is his security? You can get on the government house grounds, fire at 2 other officers, and then kill a third, and the case is not, conclusive.
And two
like
of
you said, where's security footage?
And 2 of those officers said they saw who did it.
Exactly.
But that means nothing.
So what? I know of another case, someone who could identify their shooter, and the shooter's out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So what does this say? And then I don't know if the word lax is the best to describe us. You know, the government is going electronic with all these services, but yet you still have to report somewhere to receive a physical piece of paper. They're collecting their money electronically, but what about us, the public? We're still being inconvenienced. You still have to go to road traffic, stand in a collection center and collect a piece of paper. Why is it not returned to you digitally and you use it digitally?
Yeah.
You know, are we really advancing electronically? Minister of Finance is constantly having more and more press surfaces. Oh, this is going online, this is going online, character references, driver's license renewal. But then the public still has to physically go to these buildings and collect physical paper or, are we really going electronic? What are we really doing? Are we just spending money and showboating?
Very good questions.
We're not really advancing. Are you really sitting down and thinking about the whole picture? Because somebody needs to look into this government house murder situation. This is serious.
Yeah. This is extremely serious. You're right. You are very right. Will we get the answers?
We need more accountability.
Yep.
We need more vision.
Yeah. You are correct. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Thank you. This text here. Do you find it there was no video footage from Government House or Breezes? Yeah, that's what we've been saying all morning. We've definitely been saying that. No. Was the verdict unanimous? Do we have a breakdown? It was. We said that earlier. It was unanimous. All of them. Yep. This is a very good question. It'd be good to know. Will he be able to get his job back and be fully compensated? It's a very good question. What happens there?
Yeah, where does he go from here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And,
where does he go from here? Where does the family of the murdered go from here?
Oh, well,
what are the next steps?
They'll join the long line of people who are still seeking justice, going back decades.
Yeah.
Decades. But yeah, what happens to him here? That's a good question. We were wondering this yesterday, actually. All right, this one here. I think we should respect the court and the jury's decision. You both are speaking as if he did not go through the trial and was proven not guilty. Also, from what I read in the papers, the witnesses were not sure who they saw. Let's respect the court a little and not convict people in the court of public opinion. Okay. No one's doing that at all.
Nobody's doing that.
We're just talking about the case.
Right. No one's doing that. I don't think any of us, either one of us said, oh, he is guilty. He should have been convicted. We're just asking questions.
We have concerns about the process.
The evidence available?
Yes.
How does this work? As I said, in the absence of evidence on both sides, we're just assuming that the defense, their case was stronger or more believable.
And that is probably
not convicted anyone in the court of public opinion.
And that's probably what influenced the jury, right? There's so many questions. You didn't have the evidence. Both sides didn't really present evidence. Everybody's so unsure. And then that they probably felt they had no choice.
And so it probably went down to which witnesses were more believable. because you don't have any hard and fast evidence to look at to say, oh, well, we see the footage, or oh, these are the results of the hand swabbing.
Yep. Yep. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi, good morning.
I, like yourself, tried, as most persons right now listening to the report, that I think that whatever that was missing, that could have been the very important thing to wrap this case up. Because, like, everybody's wondering, why even go and continue with the case if that particular evidence was not available? Why not just put the case off and just, come back until you get yourself all your, what you need to continue the case? Because this was a big, this was something big. A whole Marine just gets shoot up at government house, and this made international headline. And was he wearing a mask? That's what I wanted to know. This Seymour guy, because if the other two,
the assailant,
they say he was wearing a mask.
The whoever it was who shot him,
He was wearing a mask.
We don't know. We don't know. But
they identify him. So why is their word meant for nothing? They don't know him. Something is so off with this case. They just, I don't know. They shouldn't have just come to a word. They should have put it off and maybe, let the prosecutors gain all that he needs to, and then, because something ain't right. I don't think that should go just like that. My heart goes out to the Paul family, because they've been waiting for a while for justice, and it come down to where, so I don't know.
Okay.
This ain't no real place, I could tell you much. Okay.
Thank you very much. This text here, the prosecution is required to prove its case without the key evidence, which was the gunshot residue. All the other evidence was speculative. Seymour, who was a trained Marine, is said to have shot Perpall and attempted to shoot the other two Marines and missed. Did it turn fire at Seymour? I smell a rat. Okay. He has a very good case for reinstatement. He was unanimously acquitted, despite our government's position that the law does not apply to them. The law is still the law. Good to hear from the Defense Force. We'd love to know how that works there. Would you? How would Ramming and Hannah feel working next to someone who they claimed? Anyway, okay.
And I don't know if I was Mr. Seymour, Officer Seymour. I don't know if I would want to be reinstated. I would have to carefully consider that. I mean, and of course, you're thinking about employment, but do I want to be around people or a person who has accused me of such a heinous crime? Oh, And what's really sad about it is that, and it could be anyone, the stigma that is attached to him, that doesn't disappear just because of the innocent verdict. You're a free man, but he has already been tried in the court of public opinion, and not by us, but in general. So, it's a whole process that he's now going to have to learn to navigate through.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
There's another call? Yep. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Okay. Dwight, I knew both gentlemen. I grew up, both of them. They lived several corners from each other's.
Which two?
Seymour and Perpall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I lived in both, and I'll tell you this. Both of them have impeccable character. And nobody have seen or heard of any differences both of them had at no time. And what happened in that case, I assume, is the substantiated facts that Seymour family and friends presented, that at the time when they said he did the murder, he was out of body, and they could have proved the point. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, I think there's somebody being blamed, shame in this whole scenario, because if they found a gun on the premises, why haven't there been fingerprints of him having a gun at that particular time? Like you guys said, why isn't there no camera footage? Okay? Especially a place like the government house. Come on, man, let's be realistic. All right? Something is totally wrong with this picture. You know, because everybody, when they heard he was arrested and charged for this murder, how the hell that can happen? And him and Papalo were good friends, okay? They were good friends. They lived at several, when I say several corners to what I mean about 5 corners from each other. You understand what I'm saying? And Papal is elder than him. Papal was a senior, okay? And somebody at that guard post know exactly what's taking place, and I personally believe they're covering up for someone else, okay? Because that's not in that gentleman's character.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Mr. Reader, just a few more messages on this, and then we're going to take a break. This one says here, I respect the jury's verdict, though I disagree with it. Good police work was done. Our Attorney General's office needs to be strengthened. Okay. Another one here. Did the court accept the eyewitness of a partying group over our Defense Force officers? Should the 2 officers lose their jobs since their report could not be trusted? Oh, no, you know the answer is no to that. Come on. Have Defense Force and police officers lost their credibility with the public? In my mind, the 2 Defense Force officers probably knew the accused Seymour being co-workers. Get a public statement from the courts, as is done in the U.S. But as we said earlier, you know, the jury likely realizing that there is little evidence on both sides, from both sides, it had to do, right, as you mentioned earlier, Laverne, right, reasonable doubt is extremely reasonable.
The defense was able to present reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
The jury deliberated over what they heard,
right? It's
what was said, and that is the results that they came back with. And so
all we have is he said versus he said.
Right.
Is that enough? And that's likely why they did what they did. Yeah, that's some serious stuff. But people have said in the past, yes, your texts are right. People have been convicted over much less, which is unfortunate for those people as well.
Yeah.
Boy. This one says here, okay. This is unbelievable. Only the Bahamas or in the movies. Do you guys practice witchcraft in the Bahamas? Now, where are you texting us from? Are you not a part of this too? Okay.
I'm confused about that.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't know what's going on. Okay. We'll take this final call. Yep. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
God's grace is sufficient. Dwight.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Tell me, what is AWOL?
Absent without leave.
Say it again?
Absent without leave.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. So, hey. Now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, another court matter, the government's bid to stay citizenship ruling. That remains in limbo for now, but the government has been granted leave to appeal to the Privy Council about that citizenship ruling, which we've talked about quite a lot. We'll give you the latest on that. And how we're looking for the elections. Are we ready? Are you ready? We're going to talk about that as well. A lot to get to on this wet Thursday morning. This is Morning Blend on Good Night. Stay with us.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. Many in Surfside, Florida are hoping President Biden's visit today will provide comfort to a grieving community. At least 18 people died when that condo building collapsed. 145 others are still missing. The search for them goes on. Here's our Jackie Quinn.
It's been a week since the 12-story condo tower collapsed and 1 week since anyone was found alive. while some may wonder if a presidential visit will disrupt the search and rescue effort. Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez says it will help boost morale.
We've had several challenges from weather, rain, and I think that the president coming will bring some unity.
Dozens of people remain unaccounted for, and now there are concerns bad weather could hinder the search. I'm Jackie Quinn.
There is no indication the former President Trump will be charged, but the Trump Organization and its chief financial officer reportedly have been indicted on charges stemming from an investigation into Mr. Trump's business dealings. Here's our Mike Gracia.
Charges against the company and Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg appear to involve non-monetary benefits the company gave to top executives, possibly including use of apartments, cars, and school tuition. Weisselberg came under scrutiny in part because of questions about his son's use of a Trump apartment at little or no cost. Barry Weisselberg managed a Trump-operated ice rink in Central Park.
Bill Cosby's out of prison and back home after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his sex assault conviction. The court said the prosecutor who brought the case was bound by a previous agreement not to charge him. Cosby tweets he's innocent. A sex assault victim says, shame on the court. A pile of illegal fireworks exploded in South Los Angeles, injuring 17 people. One man's under arrest. This is AP News. A TV actor has been sentenced to prison in connection with a scandal-ridden cult-like group. Here's our Oscar Wells Gabriel.
Allison Mack played a close friend of a young Superman in the TV series Smallville, but a judge in New York has sentenced her to 3 years in prison for keeping company with NXIVM and the cult-like group's spiritual leader, Keith Raniere. Mack had pleaded guilty to the charges against her and helped prosecutors build evidence showing that Raniere crafted a secret society of brainwashed women who were branded with his initials. After her sentencing, Mack renounced the self-improvement guru, saying she is filled with remorse and guilt. That didn't cut it with one victim who told the judge that Mack deserves no mercy because she is, quote, a monster cut from the same cloth, a predator, and an evil human being. I'm Oscar Wells Gabriel.
More Americans are buying homes. Pending sales are up 8%. That from the National Association of Realtors. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
7:35 the time for your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic this morning, Smart Butler Highway, busy, but not as bad as we normally see at this hour. It's not all the way down to Fire Trail in the northbound lanes. Just about midway, you'll be noticing the congestion in the two northbound lanes this morning as you head towards Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway. Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway also busy. Westbound towards that roundabout. But nothing you can't handle this morning. Glaston Road also looking better for you this morning, northbound towards JFK Drive. Eastbound on Carmichael, traffic's building as you head toward Blue Hill Road and traffic Blue Hill Road northbound, just north of Soldier Road as you approach Independence Drive in the roundabout there. Elsewhere, Robinson Road, busy for you as you get closer to Old Trail Road. That traffic light has been problematic over the past few weeks, and you're going to be sitting there for a long time. So keep that in mind. That's causing traffic to back up a bit. Backed up on Old Trail as well, northbound towards that intersection. And Wolf Road, Soldier Road, Village Road, Bernard Road, that intersection looking a little busy for you this morning. But other than that, not too bad. The streets are very wet, though. Keep that in mind. Flooding in some parts of New Providence. That's your real-time traffic in your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And it's 7:37, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect now. That's in effect from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the northwest and central Bahamas. That's a big area. Northwest and central Bahamas thunderstorm watch. Department of Meteorology saying that thunderstorms will be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, reduced visibility, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. Boaters in the warning area should also seek safe harbor, and residents should stay indoors and away from windows when these conditions worsen. It's all a result of this weather that we've been seeing. A lot going on. Tropical moisture continues to enhance shower activity and thunderstorms as it streams across the islands. High pressure also generating some fresh breezes as well. Again, expect flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas, which we are seeing already. Yet, when it's not raining, we're expecting the heat index to be in the triple digits today. So you've got to remain hydrated if you're outdoors. So for all areas, look for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Again, some will be heavy at times through tonight. Smoke-craft caution in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Temperature-wise today, look for highs around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. The heat index, though, still a factor. Will make you feel like 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. In your extended outlook, tropical moisture will continue to stream across the islands as high pressure builds westward across the area. For tomorrow, Friday, expect cloudy to overcast conditions, warm and breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavier at times in the northwest and central Bahamas. For Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid in the northwest and central islands, hot and breezy in the southeastern islands with isolated showers and thunderstorms over all areas. In the tropics, we've been telling you about this system. It is now a tropical storm, Elsa. Elsa was tropical depression number 5. As of 5 o'clock, the center was just about 865 miles east-southeast of the Windward Islands. Elsa is moving towards the west at 25 miles per hour. On the forecast track, the system will pass near or over portions of the Windward Islands or southern Leeward Islands on Friday, and then move into the Caribbean Sea Friday night, and near the southern coast of Hispaniola on Saturday. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour with higher gusts, and some strengthening is expected during the next couple of days. As it approaches closer to Hispaniola, the path will be clearer, but the Bahamas definitely needs to be paying attention to this. We will keep you posted on Elsa. That is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. Rev, you and us together. We're back. These messages, stay with us.
The summer you deserve is here at Alive. Capture more moments and go further for everyone. Roam free with postpaid and stay connected with MiFi on the go, anywhere, anytime. We do it better with even more device offerings, accessories, exclusive deals with the list, and so many opportunities to win big. From travel vouchers to grocery vouchers, Alive merch, and more. Start your summer with us this Saturday here in Nassau, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, and Abaco. Visit Alive's social media pages for more information. Alive, believe in best.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit of retiring their way with the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. Choose from some of the best performing investment funds in the market while taking advantage of low administrative costs and professional management. Whether you're a team of 2 or 2,000, our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation getaway at Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. Call 363-6483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
Digital banking, online, RBC. RBC banking, online, pay your bills anytime.
RBC Digital Banking is so easy. Granny and Granddad can do it. Sign up for online banking or download the RBC Caribbean app.
With RBC, it's safe and easy. Send your money hassle-free. RBC.
Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/bank at home. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Crystal Cruises is setting sail for the Bahamas once again. Crystal will follow the strictest safety protocols as guests travel to Exuma, San Salvador, Long Island, and more. With a commitment to keep communities and guests safe and protect the environment, Crystal's decision to homeport in the Bahamas will boost tourism and support the local economy. Learn more at crystalcruises.com.
This is Guardian Radio 97. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. We're talking about what's in the news. We're going to move on from that story just now. But again, pick up today's NASA Guardian to read more about it. Court matter. The government's bid to stay the citizenship ruling remains in limbo. Our Travis Carroll writing about that today. The government was yesterday granted leave to appeal to the Privy Council, a landmark ruling on citizenship, but its application for a stay remains in limbo. Court of Appeal President Sir Michael Barnett saying that they're going to adjourn the stay issue for the moment. As you may recall, because we've talked about it almost every day for the past week and a half. Last week, the Court of Appeal affirmed a 2020 ruling by Supreme Court Justice Ian Winder that every person born in the Bahamas shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at birth if either parent, irrespective of their marital status, is a citizen of the Bahamas. Winder's ruling allows children born out of wedlock to Bahamian men and foreign women in the Bahamas to be entitled to citizenship from birth. Right? Now, the 5 respondents in the appeal to the Court of Appeal, all children of unmarried, each claimed the right to Bahamian citizenship under Article 6 on the basis of their having been born in the Bahamas after the 9th of July, 1973, to a father who was a citizen of the Bahamas at the date of their birth. Wayne Monroe, QC, who appeared on behalf of the respondents, did not oppose the government's application to appeal. Attorney Franklin Williams, who appears on behalf of the Office of the Attorney General, says the government is seeking a stay so that the status quo remains. During the hearing yesterday, Sir Michael asked, "What is it you want us to stay?" Williams said the government wants the court to stay the effect of Winder's ruling and the affirmation by the Court of Appeal. Sir Michael repeated the question, noting that Winder didn't make an order.
No.
And then he said, quote, "I just want to be clear." Williams said the government wants the status quo to remain. He said that is at the time of the hearing by Justice Winder. So Sir Michael asked Williams if it was his position that pending an appeal of the Privy Council, if the court grant the stay, quote, "the state is going to be obliged to comply with that interpretation of the law as a result. Persons who may or may not be entitled to citizenship may be granted citizenship." And Williams agreed. That is the position. Okay. Monroe, though, is arguing that the court made no order. He's been saying that for a few days. Sir Michael pointed to paragraph 104 of the Court of Appeals ruling, which reads, quote, "For all the reasons outlined in this judgment, I am satisfied that the proper interpretation which the framers intended to be given to Article 6 of the Bahamas Constitution is that every person born in the Bahamas after the 9th of July, 1973, shall become a citizen of the Bahamas at the date of his birth, if at that date either of his biological parents is a citizen of the Bahamas, irrespective of the marital status of the parents at the time of birth." He asked Monroe if his argument was that despite the fact that the court has declared what the interpretation of Article 6 is, the state is not obliged to give effect to the statement. And Monroe replied, yes. Sir Michael saying that, quote, "We are in the realm of assuming that the state complies with the law. We have to, as a court, assume that a state will comply with what the law is." Okay, this is getting a little back and forth there. Okay, so anyway, so they're staying this, they're not staying yet. They got to sort this out first. It's in limbo, as you can hear. This
It's
is going to
in
get
limbo,
lawyers.
much like Dwight. It's in limbo, much like all of the children,
Yes.
whether they are adults or not, have been in limbo.
Very much so. And as the lawyers will do what lawyers do, they're going to take some time to figure out what they're doing there. But it remains in limbo. That's the bottom line there. So, interesting. This is just limbo everything. So it's truly a tropical paradise, eh? Limbo for everything we do. We don't know who's killing people.
No, not
We don't know
everything.
who's. You sure? We
No,
don't
not
have.
everything. We fast track whatever it is that we want to fast track it. We know just how to cut through that red tape if it's important to us.
Okay.
And then we also know how to create more red tape and create these kinds of back and forth when we're not inclined to do what it is that we are expected to do because we don't like the results. And that's what's going on here.
Okay. All right. Let's hear what you have to say about this. Folks, if you have any comments on this, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. This text here. I don't know why some are criticizing our court system so much. I think we have one of the best systems in the world. Not to say anything derogatory about the U.S. system, where many blacks were unjustifiably convicted. Countless formerly convicted black men cases have been overturned by lack of evidence and DNA. We have our issue. Our system works pretty good. Okay. All right. Well, sure. I don't even think the courts will agree with you. They know that they've got many issues, backlogs, and right. While people in the U.S. may be unfairly convicted and prosecuted, here it takes so long for something to happen. Justice, I don't know. Anyway, okay, there are issues all around. As long as human beings are involved, there will always be issues. So some things they get right, I'm sure, and a lot of things they don't. But one of the best in the world, I don't know about that one. Okay, but hey, at least we have something. Is that a good thing to say? I'm not sure. Let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
I got a quick comment on the Paul case. That was my squad mate on the defense force. There's a quick comment.
Okay.
It's kind of sad both ways because they still doesn't have any closure on that matter. And if the young man who was acquitted, if he is guilty, if he really did it, even though the court say he didn't do it, I pray that he finds some weight in his heart to confess that, just like anybody else. I have a family member, close family member, who was murdered and got no justice for it. So I know how to hit Paul's family feel. And on the matter of the court, like I said, persons can go to the passport office, apply for their passport, because even though a passport really say that you're a citizen of a country, but you don't get a passport to say that you are a citizen of a country, because everybody in the Bahamas who's a citizen don't have a passport. Some people don't even want a passport and never had one in their life. So the persons who want passports, and some people need them, especially to try to do a lot of stuff in this country, should go to the passport. And if they deny you, whenever the official ruling come down from the Privy Council, if they affirm Justice Winder's ruling, then they could go and sue the government. So that could be some serious matters if the Privy Council upholds Justice Winder's and the Court of Appeal. The government could be in for plenty money for people.
But I was having this discussion with somebody yesterday. I mean, isn't there something you need to do before that? Don't you need to have an affidavit? Maybe have it right. Can you just show up? Why would you think you can do that? I mean, something.
But see, okay, the laws, right? Okay, we have for the House of the Parliament, right? The Parliament has the ability to pass laws. You remember the Attorney General said that they have no way of proving someone is the father of a child, right?
Right.
Okay, but they do have a way, because under the Status of Children's Act, for child support, they require DNA.
Right.
Okay, so if the government is serious and they really want to address the matter, they could go to Parliament right now today, even though they adjourned till September, and put the requisite laws in place in case the Privy Council rules upholds this ruling. There's no.
You're right.
So the onus is on the Parliament, okay, and the Cabinet, the Attorney General's office. You can't keep saying there isn't any way to prove that this person is the father of a child when you already have in law where, under certain circumstances, you have to produce DNA. The court could ask for DNA to be produced to determine the father of a child. So the Attorney General and the government need to stop slunking on this matter, because if the court affirms the ruling, people could sue the government. You see, and that's the sad part about this. They acting like they can't do anything.
Yeah, right.
Because they have a lot of. I know people personally who in this position, and that's a hurtful position for the young lady who you all had on the other morning on the Grand Bahama.
Yep.
That's such a sad situation.
It's very sad.
Over after 29 years, you really resign to give people who have $1 million to invest in the Bahamas citizenship, who ain't have no connection to the Bahamas, outside that they want to spend $1 million probably on one house or something, citizenship, and persons who born here, this is the only country that they know. This is the only country that they know. You can't find a way in the law to make these persons whatever the prerequisite you need to put in place to determine if the father is this person is the father, and that's such an easy thing to do right now in this day and age. So the Attorney General, I say, well, Mr. Battle being Attorney General, this is his first time being Attorney General. Right. He knows the law, Status of Children's Act, DNA. We need to do better.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making some great points this morning. Thank you very much. Always appreciate you.
And my heartfelt was all from we all grew up in the same area, so I know the feeling for his family right now. So my heart goes out to them.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Wow.
You know, Dwight, at the end of the day, it comes down to you have to want to. You know how we are. When we don't want to do something, we can find every roadblock. So you have to, in response to the caller just now, yes, the government can do these things, but you have to want to do them. And my impression is that there is no desire to anything other than appeal and try to get this stay that is now in limbo.
Yeah, but we've been hearing so much double talk, though, right? And this is why I think, as they have said before, not saying it so much now, but they're saying before they want to take this as high as it can just so that it can be affirmed and concretized, as they've said. But we heard them after. We heard them
I
after
feel like
the election.
You want to take it as high as you can until you get
your results. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
You're hoping that you get the answer that you want to get.
Oh boy! But they said this after the election. They said this. We heard them saying they can do things in law since the referendum didn't pass. They can do things in law that would help this situation and help other situations, other citizenship
and so
issues.
why wasn't it done?
Right? Why hasn't it been done? Why?
Because that's not a priority. You're not interested in doing it. You're very comfortable knowing that all these people are affected. They're impacted by it. These are human beings. These are people. The only home they know is the Bahamas. That's it.
Is that thunder we're hearing in the back there by you?
That is thunder.
Wow.
I tried to mute it, but I was unsuccessful.
My goodness. Okay, Grand Bahama. Wow. Well, again, we are under the thunderstorm warning for the northwest and central Bahamas at the moment. So it's some weather. We're going to have some serious weather today. Some serious weather. All right. So it's going to be interesting to see how long this goes on. I think they're supposed to make a decision on this, on the stay matter on July, I believe it was the 14th. Let's see. So it's a couple weeks. Can you believe it's July already? Yep, July.
This year is just flying by.
My goodness. So the matter is going to resume via Zoom July 14th. Yep, so we'll see where that goes. Interesting stuff. All right, let's break for news. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the election and registration, more on people who've been showing up and as a result of this ruling as well. And we're going to talk about COVID. 74 cases in one day. What's that all about? We're going to get into all of that. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're back after news. Stay with us.
Come on! Woo! Oh, yeah! Yes! I's a Bohemian, hairy born and bred. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I dead. I's a Bohemian, and I always late. If you want me there by 9, better tell me come 8. See, I's a Bohemian, 8. Nobody gonna spend my money.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 and Facebook, Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. A lot going on weather-wise, quite a bit. We are under a thunderstorm watch in the northwest and central Bahamas. That continues till at least 9 o'clock this morning. Again, we are expecting thunderstorms to be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, reduced visibility, hail, and possible waterspout or tornado activity. And boaters in the warning area should seek safe harbor during this time. So this is all as a result of tropical moisture that continues to enhance showers and thunderstorm activity as it streams across the Bahamas, while high pressure is generating moderate to fresh breezes over the area. For all areas today, look for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavy at times through tonight. small craft caution in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Gusty winds and higher seas expected during showers and thunderstorms. We're looking at high temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. The heat index will still be a factor, though, even with all the rain and the overcast conditions. We're looking at a heat index around 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. In your extended outlook, tropical moisture will continue to stream across the islands. Will continue to build westward across the area. So for tomorrow, Friday, that's going to mean cloudy to overcast, warm and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavier at times in the northwest and central Bahamas. Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid. In the northwest and central islands, hot and breezy in the southeastern islands with isolated showers and thunderstorms over all areas. In the tropics, we've got Tropical Storm Elsa. And Elsa is still out over the Atlantic, but about 865 miles southeast of the Windward Islands as of 5 o'clock. We're expecting the 8 o'clock update soon. Elsa is moving toward the west at 25 miles per hour. On the forecast track, the system will pass near or over portions of the Windward Islands or the southern Leeward Islands by tomorrow and move into the Caribbean Sea again by Friday night, and then near the southern coast of Hispaniola on Saturday. What happens after that is unclear, and that's why the Bahamas needs to be paying close attention. Right now, maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour, with higher gusts and some additional strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. 8:24 the time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And maybe folks are getting a later start to the day today with all that rain, but it's Smart Highway now seeing that heavy traffic that we normally see at this hour. That's from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning in the northbound lanes. Gladstone Road also busy northbound to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road from Soldier Road up to Independence Drive, you're going to be seeing that heavy traffic in those northbound lanes there. And building traffic on Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Westbound on Carmichael also getting busy as folks are heading to Coral Harbor Road. And Eastern Road, we're seeing a bit of traffic just west of Fox Hill up to Johnson Road in the westbound lane. And Soldier Road looking very busy this morning. Soldier Road north of Robinson Road, heading up to Bernard Road in the northbound lanes. You're going to be seeing that traffic there. Marathon Road also busy northbound this morning. And we've been telling you about this for a few days. Robinson Road, as you approach Old Trail Road, you're going to be seeing that congestion there, the westbound traffic light. Some unusually long wait times there. Old Trail northbound also experiencing that, of course, at that same intersection. And you'll see some congestion at the Marathon East-West Highway, Robinson Road intersection this morning. So keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. That's what we're looking at this morning. Your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
You deserve is here at Alive. Capture more moments and go further with our prepaid plans for everyone. Roam free with postpaid and stay connected with MiFi on the go, anywhere, anytime. We do it better with even more device offerings, accessories, exclusive deals with the list, and so many opportunities to win big. From travel vouchers to grocery vouchers, Alive merch, and more. Start your summer with us this Saturday and Abaco. Visit Alive social media pages for more information. Alive. Believe in best.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. Seafowl, growing wealth for future generations.
Travel less, but vacation more by indulging yourself and your family with the ultimate staycation getaway at Atlantis. Sleep in, relax, play, go out. Say yes to a fantastic staycation in your very own paradise just over the bridge. For reservations, call 363-6483 or visit Atlantis Local on Facebook for details.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years with new ways to bank better. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in the future with new products and services and investment in the community. We are here to help you grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
The Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp is back. That's right, it's time for the 33rd Annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 5th through July 30th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily for boys and girls ages 5 to 18 years at the Blue Hill Sporting Complex Sports Center. Registration forms available at the Seventh-day Adventist office, Tony Williams Darling Highway, and at jeffrogersbasketballcamp.com. Call 818-4509 for more details. It's the 33rd Annual Jeff Rogers Basketball Camp, July 5th through July 30th.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
What you don't know but that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will go, yeah, we party you so high. We going home till the morning come. You know but that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will wreck, that 30 now will go you so high. We going home till the morning come. We going home, no. We started this party from north from.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this wet Thursday morning, talking about what's in the news. Coming up later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about Grand Bahama again, more of the challenges faced there and the way forward. A lot to talk about. Right, Laverne? Always a lot to talk about there.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Always.
All right, so that's coming up. But we continue with what's in the news. We got this text in during the news break. And, this is an interesting one. This person says here, Dwight Laverne, just going back to the Defense Force matter, the Government House court case there for a minute. People are asking about closure for the Perpall family after the not guilty verdict. But what about the Seymour family and the possibility that he may be innocent? He will be stigmatized for the rest of his life for something he may or may not have done. So the jury's verdict will always be viewed as wrong and involved. Yep, you are right.
I mentioned that, how do you, and like I said, yes, the courts have found him innocent, but that stigma that was has already been attached to him, it's gonna, I don't want to be negative, but realistically, it will be years before, you can get beyond that. Because people are still going to be talking there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe even more than years, maybe forever. Yeah. There are no winners here.
No.
No winners at all. That's always the case when people are killed. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. Okay, so we want to move on to the election process, voter registration. The Parliamentary Registration Department talking about what they've been seeing and experiencing. And for more on this, take a listen to this report from our Kyle Joaquin.
The amount that is required is ready to go.
The acting parliamentary commissioner says the department has ballot boxes in excess and that if an election were to be called tomorrow, the department would be ready. According to Duncanson, 191,000 people are registered to vote. the largest age bracket of people coming in to get registered between the ages of 26 and 35.
Persons age 18 to 25, there was approximately 15,457 persons who would have been added to the register in that grouping. Persons 26 to 35, there was approximately 33,447 persons added to the register, and that's what I spoke to a few minutes ago. That age group that is 26 to 35, that is the largest amount of persons who would have been added to the register since 2017.
Last week, Attorney General Carl Bethel said there had been an influx of people seeking to get registered after the Court of Appeal upheld a ruling that says anyone born in the Bahamas to a Bahamian parent is entitled to citizenship, regardless of either parent's marital status. But Duncanson says since voter registration began, there have been those who may not be eligible to vote showing up in an attempt to register.
And it is during that interview process where it is determined whether or not the individual who presents themselves has sufficient documentary evidence to support that this individual is a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Duncanson says there have been instances of people living in the cities. As there is now a permanent register, the department is asking those individuals, as well as those who have moved over the past 3 months, to come in and get registered in their new constituency.
If you've lost your voter's card, if your voter's card has been displaced, we will encourage individuals to have that matter reported to a police station, present the police report to the Parliamentary Voter Registration Department so that we are able to issue a replacement voter's card.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Okay. Let's talk about it. Let's hear what you have to say about it. You feel there's sufficient information out there for people who might be in those situations where they've moved, where they've lost their voter's card. Are you prepared? Are you taking things are people taking things for granted with the permanent voters register that they don't have to do anything? Is the information getting out there? And I don't know if we've ever resolved that matter with the displaced people from Dorian. Is that cleared up yet? Or you just have to vote where you are? Where do things stand with that? What do we know? Let's talk about it all. What say you?
I don't know if there has been a decisive, final decision with those people who are displaced. If we go according to everything as it stands, it says if you're 6 months, in a new place, then you need to register there. So I think for right now, we're still going with that. Granted, people who've been displaced there, I'm sure that they may want to vote in their constituency where they've lived for so many years. But I don't believe that there's been a definitive stand, but I guess we'll just have to go with what's already there.
Yep. Give us a call, folks. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. If you've moved, you're getting it straight. Did you go and re-register or let them know that that's happened? They say they're ready.
Dwight, how much time do you think they have to do that? Because elections are
the date that the one man knows.
Right.
Right.
So do they have a month, 6 months, 2 weeks? You don't know it.
Whenever the lightning strikes him, and he says he's ready to go. So you don't know. You need to act quickly because it could be at any minute now. Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say, callers. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bland. A lovely day, isn't it?
Well, hey, we're alive.
Yeah, man. The kind gentleman said that if election were to be called today, the department would be ready. Those were his words. Yes. Now, I did not hear the department is ready. I don't know what the difference is between those two, being ready and would be ready. But I'll just leave that there. May I, please?
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Okay, good. Right, here we are looking at a situation where we're getting ready to vote. Okay, fine. In my mind, it's a fictional exercise because what we're looking at is this. We've been under a cloud of veil of the UBP for so many years. We've had the PLP to lift it, apparently or allegedly. But obviously, if they lifted it, they must have placed their cloud over us. So now we've been under the cloud of the PLP, the UBP, and now we're under the cloud of the FNM. So this all is stuff that's over us. And it's like being under a blanket and you got a whole lot of blankets on top of you named PLP, FNMD, and could we just move all these blankets when we go to the poll this time and look for the sunshine, because it's really a cloudy day?
Is it all that happens? I mean, you move a cloud to bring your own cloud. That's all. There's no other way around it.
But the way around it is to move the cloud so you can see clearly. And once you can see clearly, I could guarantee you make a firmer and more better decision. But we got to
Is
get rid
there
of
a way to tell whether the group has a cloud?
Yeah, but here's the deal. Look who all are getting. 20% of the individuals have been vaccinated. Now, if I were a leader of the FNM or PLP, I would feel bad, because I feel as though I should have a great influence on my followers like that, because they following me, right? Wherever they follow me too. Saying that 40% of those who determine it, one way or the other, obviously he's not having an effect on his electorate. So there's a sign that the cloud is going to be moved.
Yeah, you think? I don't know if it works like that.
Look at the numbers.
Okay.
Respect the numbers, my friend.
Well, maybe the fear and the hatred of the vaccine, of these maximum leaders.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Well, perhaps that is better.
Follow the trend. Follow the trend. All right.
Okay. All right. Is it better? Yeah. Right, Levert? Is it? I don't know. You can't win, and again, you can't win with any of it. Boy. Wow. That's a tough one. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight. One Gardner.
Hi, how you doing?
Morning.
I'm good. Is there some kind of fear that we need 70% people vaccinated before we can have election or something?
Well, you think that's what's going on?
I don't know. That's what it started to sound like to me.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get to that? Why?
Only governors, but let's go back to the people from Abaco and Freeport issue, though. There is a law that says if you are away to school or away on government service outside the country, then you can vote from where you are. There's currently not a law for natural disasters. So if the government was serious about this issue, they could easily go in Parliament and amend the Parliamentary Act and make it easy for these people to vote from where they are now, right? They can do that, right?
You would think. It seems simple.
Right, so I don't know what the issue is. If they really wanted this thing to happen, they would have done it a long time. Obviously, they're not concerned about those people who are from Abaco and lost their homes and basically, let's say refugees in Nassau, so to speak. The government isn't concerned about them because is it really an important issue for the person in Parliament right now?
They don't seem to be talking about it.
No, it's not. So
yeah,
that's where we're at.
Hey, I think they think is going to benefit them somehow. I'm not sure.
Oh, they think Abaco is an easy win because people are not there now?
Yeah, the people, maybe the people stuck behind are going to be, maybe this is the rationale. I have no idea, but...
So that's why they want to cut up Nassau some more, because more people in Nassau?
What other theories, but what other conclusions must you jump?
You want to add more seats because more people live in Nassau.
Yeah, well, that's what they've said, yeah.
So maybe that's the rationale for them. We can add more seats because more people left the islands and came to Nassau. So it's all about their benefit and not the benefit of the people who actually live in the country.
I mean, isn't it always?
Yeah, I see your point.
Right.
All right, then. Thank God.
Okay, so we get it. All right. I mean, Lever, what are you thinking? You think? I mean, I'm hearing, we've talked about this before. So many people have moved back to Grand Bahama. I'm hearing that. I mean, I don't know if you see that as you are in Grand Bahama, but I know a lot of people who've moved in the last few months. Are you seeing that? And what impact will that have?
So the first thing we have to look at is the fact that we are trying to rationalize this and figure this out. And that's not going to happen, right? So when it doesn't make sense. So us coming up with theories, not going to happen, because my position remains the same as it is with the citizenship. We do what we want to do, that we would, when it comes to laws and making decisions, what we deem is important.
Yeah.
People, yes, of course, people are coming back home because it's home. And so you do see people coming back home trying to rebuild their lives still, so I've seen that. But if this was a matter of urgency, or no, let me change that. If this was an issue that really mattered, a decision would have already been made.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what it comes down to. What is priority? What is important? You can't say that you forgot about it, because we throw the fact of the hurricane and the issues surrounding the hurricane, and we use it to rationalize maybe why we aren't performing as well as we should. So I'm saying that to say that clearly Dorian is ever present in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying along the way that you have not determined yet what you're going to do in terms of those people who've been displaced. If there isn't a decision, if a decision has not been made, it's because and they're very comfortable with things the way that they are, because what we deem important, we pay attention to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Madam Laverne Gardner.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure to hear you two on the radio in the morning. Dwight, I want to pose something to you that I think would require some of us to really rationalize what's going on here. I listened to the newscast just now, and they gave, obviously the parliamentary registrar, if that is who it is, gave the numbers in terms of persons who showed up to register to vote in the next general election.
Right.
And saying that he said that the 18 to, I think, I'm not correct on the last figure, 24, but it's really the 26 to 35 bracket that had a 30% increase in voter registration. Here's the question that one or two quick questions I'd like to pose forward. Firstly, is statistical data. It would be quite interesting to know from both of those groups, what is it that motivates them to register? What are the issues that they are really interested in seeing some type of resolution to? Then the second part to that would be also to discover what is it that they really, how do they envision their Bahamas going forward? I want to see statistical data, someone actually going around asking these questions. What is it about your country or your government that you despise? And what is it that you would like to see the country or the government in terms of improving the lives and the livelihoods of its citizens? What mechanisms would you like to see put in place that would bring these things forward? And it would be quite interesting to see from the youth perspective, how are they thinking about this country in comparisons to persons in our age bracket, and see what the similarities are and the differences. I think that is something perhaps someone should take the challenge on. Take the mantle on and actually go and get that information and break it down into some type of statistical analysis, so we could see what the young people are really thinking, why they're thinking what they're thinking, and what part do they want to play in order to make these changes come about. Thank you, Dwight.
Don't go yet, Jeff. That sounds great. But I think, yes, sure, that sounds good. I'd like to see that for every category. But I'd bet you a good amount of money that if you go back to where that age category when you were between 26 and 35 and think about what you wanted for the Bahamas, it's probably the exact same things. Because nothing's changed much here.
Yeah,
and they're wanting the same things.
I would agree with you on that. Looking at it from a youth perspective, seeing that we have not been exposed. Well, I know I've been exposed to things of the 60s and the 70s, whereas the current youth would not be as exposed. So therefore, it's a different animal that we are dealing with here. But in terms of what they now have experienced in this country, as well as the lessons or the conversations that they would have had with their parents and perhaps their grandparents on where the country was, where it is today. And so in their minds, they're actually making that comparison. Well, if Grammy them used to live this way, but today we are having it twice or three times harder to live in this country, then what is it that we need to do in order to make it easier for us to live in this country. And like I said, primarily, in closing, it would be quite interesting just to, even though some of us would already have where we are today, but it would be good to actually have statistical data. You have enough persons in this country taking statistics. Let's try to get on the ground and actually talk to these people to find out, and from their perspective, what is their take? What is it? How do they want to see their country improve towards the 22nd century? And I think that's very important. Again, thank you, Dwight, for taking my call, and Lady Gardner. Be safe out there in Grand Bahama, and God bless you all. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Got a lot of calls coming in. Let's take these. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. All right, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dwight and Laverne. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, and good morning to the nation. A couple of points, Dwight, and then I want to make a quick point on the inoculation, one point on that. But as it relates to Abaco and what the parliamentary commissioner, what I've spoken about, not the parliamentary, sorry, the voter registration commissioner, person who has responsibility. First and foremost, if you look at what's happening on Abaco, you have to consider from the foundational level, is it even persons, as has the government provided for and done what is necessary in order to give the persons the opportunity to return home. When you look at the fact that there's a housing crisis on Abaco, the government has failed to provide necessary housing to enable persons to relocate. When you look at the fact that there's inadequate electrical or utility supply on Abaco, the government has failed on that regard again in providing these necessities of life for quality of life and for basic and essential life to exist on Abaco for the persons who have been disenfranchised with the Hurricane Dorian, right? And then when you look at the fact that the government has failed to create an economic environment on top of all of this for persons to be able to earn a way of living, to earn a wage in order to be able to sustain themselves. And so when you look at all these factors, Dwight, Laverne, and the nation, the government has failed in and of itself. And so it therefore has the responsibility.
The government is really supposed to do all those things, Anton?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Dwight. Whose responsibility is it to provide electricity, Dwight?
Well, okay, so it's
whose
besides that one.
is it to create the environment for housing?
Well,
whose responsibility is it, or
not for
who has
everybody.
taken on the mantle to ensure that Abaconians are provided with the level of assistance that they need? Come on out of this. And so, looking at all those factors, Dwight, the government then does not have, the government then has the responsibility to not just come to the Bahamian people in Parliament and in every interview they conduct where they're blaming their failures on the national deficit and the national debt and the loss of the economy and all the difficulties that they could imagine on Dorian and on the pandemic. They also have the responsibility, Dwight, Laverne, and the nation to acknowledge their failures as it relates to the people on Abaco and to therefore make the exemption for them.
Let me ask you something. So is it this specific administration or just governments in general in the Bahamas? Because the same could be said about after Joaquin, that we didn't see that from that administration at the time.
It's now 2021.
No, but I mean, it didn't happen then either. So is it an inability of Bahamian governments to do this once there is a natural disaster? Or what is the issue?
We are approaching an election year under this administration. Dorian took place under this administration. The responsibilities for restoration rest with this administration, Dwight.
But we have to look back at the past, too. I mean, the same thing has happened after every single disaster. So what's the problem? Is it Bahamian people? Is it governments in general?
Don't forget, I have one more point to make. But I
need you to answer that question too, though. I mean, that's very important because
I will engage you with that because you're asking.
Yeah.
Right. The bottom line is this, right? If we continue to not hold every government,
no one's saying we can't.
While they are in power, while they have the responsibility, while they have the authority, if we continue to just try to look back and not hold the current government accountable, Dwight, we will continue to experience this lack in efficiency.
No, that's not true. Because we need to look back. I got to stop you, Anton. You got to stop. No, I got to stop you. I got to stop you. We have to look back because the same people who did that when we looked back want to come to take us forward too, but they didn't do that either. So maybe we should do like the previous caller said and forget the 2 clown ships and look somewhere else for the sun, right? Because it didn't happen after the last ones either. I'm not saying that these people should get a pass. This is, this is rough. Of course, it was an unprecedented hurricane, but it doesn't seem to happen after anything. Hurricanes, these many, many hurricanes before Dorian, has it happened? Again, what happened in the Southern Bahamas after Joaquin and Ragged Island, my God. And so something is very wrong. What is the issue? And we keep doing the same thing over and over again. So we do need to look back and remember. And we're being failed in every direction that we turn. No? Laverne, I need some, I don't know. Am I wrong on this? Am I off?
No, you're not. You're not.
It's everywhere. And oh boy. Okay. All right. What are we doing? Let's take that call and then we gotta take that break. Yep. Okay. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning to your guest also. Or yes, co-host.
Morning.
Yeah. Hey, Dwight. You're a genius and your guest is a genius, right?
No.
These 2 words came to me in the
Laverne
dream
might be.
15 years ago, right? And it always perplexed my mind, but I think I come to terms with it, right? But right now, presently, I think these words are appropriate, right? 2 words are proxy poised. Proxy poised. How would you consider that to be?
I have no idea.
Okay, now, we are in this election season. The Registrar General said we can call election anytime we got multiple boxes, too many boxes for us to even deal with, right? So, to me, proxy poised. We are poised, okay, by proxy for an election for persons to work on our behalf, and they come to us as if they are perfect. As like to say poised, as like to say ladies who go to a beauty pageant, they are poised to win that beauty pageant and they try to elevate themselves to be the best one to come out on the top. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I say it's the same thing. I woke up and it's like, sometimes you're dreaming, you're like, okay, I remember this, right? But you sleep and you say, you keep it in your mind, when you wake up, you forget it. But I got up at that time. I said, you know what? I have to get up. Just get up and write it down. And I wrote it down, and it's like, those 2 words are so important. I mean, it really describes an election, because, I mean, like, they're poised. And when we have them as a proxy to work on our behalf. Am I wrong?
I'm trying to follow. Mm-hmm.
The government is nothing but proxy to work on the behalf of the Bahamian people, right? And I mean, like, and if that's what it really is, don't you think it is appropriate for us as the people to make sure it's what we want when we put them to work on our behalf as a proxy, because they're poised right now, pretending to be more than what they even are to get in office to show us that they ain't. Makes any sense?
See, I told you I'm not a genius, so I think that's why I'm having a hard time following you. But I've
why I explain that so easily.
Well, I told you I'm challenged. Laverne, you getting it?
Let me say it again.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they are poised. Okay, poised is like to pretend or to make you elevate yourself to be the best you can be to win some competition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, proxy is to work on the behalf of another. Okay. They're going to work on our behalf, or supposed to work on our behalf, the proxy. But it always turns out that it's just the opposite. They're not working on our behalf as a proxy, and we always get to the same thing, like you mentioned, that we are right back to the same old, putting on that same old blanket again from the FNM, the PLP, or whoever else will pretend to be what they ain't. They're going to do what they want to do.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Well, yeah. So that's how it is. Definitely. I mean, I get it, but long highway there. Hey, let's take this break, and then we'll be back with Boardingville in Business. We're going to be talking about Grand Bahama. This is related to what we've been talking about just now. Anton, you need to listen to that too. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Them so go Lucy, go glow. Wine, granny, wine. Wine, granny, wine. Shake, Lucy, shake.
shake, Lucy, shake. Go down low, glow. Go down low, glow. The people yell at them so. Go Lucy, go glow. Now Lucy.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or BT.com. Conditions apply.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage egg and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Let's face it, in an increasingly competitive market, your business needs a competitive edge. That means offering your employees the benefits they want. Give them the benefit of retiring their way. With the RF Multi-Employer Pension, some of the best performing investment funds in the market, while taking advantage of low administrative costs and professional management. Whether you're a team of 2 or 2,000, our pension specialists can design a plan for you. Contact us at pensions@rfgroup.com to learn more about the RF Multi-Employer Pension Plan. RF, money at work.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Able Seaman Javon Seymour has been acquitted of the murder of his senior officer Percival Popal, as well as the attempted murders of 2 fellow Marines. After just over an hour of deliberations yesterday, an all-female jury cleared him of all 5 charges against him stemming from that shocking shooting incident at Government House back in April of 2019. Despite 2 fellow Marines identifying Seymour as the shooter, Seymour always maintained he was elsewhere during the crime. His attorney Muriel Ducille focusing during the trial on the lack of evidence connecting Seymour to the crimes, a prayer circle outside of court after the verdict yesterday, proclaiming his innocence. In other news, COVID-19 cases nationally shot up to 74 Tuesday, 59 of them on New Providence. 7 more people also tested positive for COVID in Bimini amid a spike linked to a local resort there. There were 4 new cases of COVID recorded on Grand Bahama, 2 on Eleuthera, and 1 each on Abaco and Andros. And the Pan American Health Organization has warned countries like the Bahamas with low vaccination rates to resume cruise ship traffic with the utmost caution. PAHO reminded that much is still unknown about the virus's spread on cruise ships. It said countries welcoming those ships to their shores must be cautious for the importation, early detection, and the potential spread of the virus among the community. Royal Caribbean International confirmed last week that 2 of its passengers who disembarked in Grand Bahama tested positive for COVID. Tourism Minister Dionisio Diagula says strict protocols are in place to prevent spread connected to cruise ships, even though he added positive COVID cases are to be expected. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school? He could do join you in?
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl?
So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did it work?
All you gotta do is call them or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info? And when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them and you can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled so nobody can read what you saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Law Adjusters.
Final look at traffic, and this one's really a tough morning. The weather, major factor, and everyone is out there a whole lot later. As it got closer to 9 this morning, the streets really filled. And then, and now, we still got some major congestions going on. Of course, Gateway is a foregone conclusion. The traffic lines working on leaving Gladstone Road, Walla Walla Highway, and Carmichael Road, too. Still slow getting over the hill there at Blue Hill Road. At Tony's $1 million roundabout below, a bit delayed as well by the traffic that's coming in off the Independence Drive West lanes, also entering into that same circle. Eastern from the south is even looking slower this morning with the traffic that's approaching from as far back as Soldier Road. Actually, it's a bit relieved once you get across Soldier Road and heading into the roundabout ahead, where normally that's the heavy spot. Soldier Road going into the Wolf Road traffic light, caught up in the lengthy traffic line there as well. At this point now, we've got a full-blown traffic line. The lengthy traffic line is attempting to leave the Eastern Road. Shirley Street, the traffic over there heading into downtown, consistent and plentiful. University Drive in the Oaksfield area, quite active right now on both lanes. The ride leaving out of the west along West Bay Street, that's slow and consistent at the moment. And inner city traffic is quite active. Cautious, but they are growing. Inner City Marathon Road, the feed onto Wolf Road, consistent, bumper to bumper, and is running slow. And as it gets later, some folks will be walking in late at work today. It's a slow, busy morning. I suggest mainly because of the weather. This NASA traffic report this hour is brought to you by the folks over at Garden of Eden, where you've got great breakfast Thursday, Friday, and Saturday breakfast. From Garden of Eden in Eastwood. Call now for easy pickup directions and to make your order at 819-5574. That's 819-5574. With you around the sky, look at traffic in real time. I'm VA Double Ed.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg has reportedly surrendered to authorities ahead of expected charges against him and the company. Weisselberg was seen walking into the courthouse in Lower Manhattan early this morning with his lawyer. Here's our Jackie Quinn with what we know.
There was a meeting last week between prosecutors and Trump Organization lawyers. But now, insiders say the company's chief financial officer, 73-year-old Alan Weisselberg, will be presented in court. The charges are expected to allege tax evasion, including unreported company benefits provided to top executives, like cars, apartments, and school tuition. Trump said this week the company's actions are standard business practice.
The AP's Jackie Quinn reporting. There is no indication the former President Trump himself would age of the investigation. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, July 1st, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. And today we are talking about Grand Bahama, talking about some of the issues, some of the challenges facing the island at this time. And very pleased to welcome our guest, who is Darren Cooper. And yesterday we were talking about yes, Grand Bahamas Airport, and along with the Family Island airports, and the plan to form PPPs to deal with the state of these airports, but I think our guess is the original PPP. Is this right? Pastor, proprietor, and philanthropist, all those things. That's a lot. Darren Cooper, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know with all of that. Good morning.
All right, so tell us who is Darren Cooper, and tell us why we should listen to you today.
I'm from a small community in Hawksville. Grew up with a challenged life, but wanted to make a difference and a better life for myself and for my family. Over the years, I've become, for whatever reason, a mouthpiece in dealing with the issues on Grand Bahama Island, and not being afraid of the faces of those that sit in position of power, but just continue to speak right and follow my heart in doing so. And so Darren Cooper is one of those persons that believe in Grand Bahama, and definitely is going to be one of those persons, if the ship decides to go down, will go down with it, whilst bailing the water out of it to keep it up.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. And we, a few weeks ago, spoke about the Reef Committee and the report, and you were on that committee as well.
Yes, I've had the wonderful privilege of being selected among many to serve as a part of the Reef Committee. I served on 3 of the set or select committees that dealt with the ease of doing business, the state of our landscape, our economy, and also I sat on the board dealing with derelict vehicles, buildings, and a wide group of homeless vagrants.
Wow. All right. So you've got that issue there as well. We knew all about that here in New Providence. And for those who aren't familiar, REEF, that's the Revitalization and Economic Expansion of Freeport Committee. And they've issued a report to the government on the way forward for Freeport and Grand Bahama. So let's hear from you. What do you think right now is the most critical issue, the most important thing that needs to be tackled with Freeport and Grand Bahama?
For me, I think one of the first things that need to happen is many persons may not know, but many persons do. Grand Bahama serves with 2 governments. We have the Grand Bahama Port Authority, which is the regulators for the city of Freeport. And then we have the central government, which is the overall regulators for the whole Grand Bahama Island. And when you have 2 parties that are not communicating or not dialoguing and not agreeing on the way forward for Grand Bahama, that poses a challenge. Government can't do anything without the Port Authority, and Port Authority can't do anything without the government. So the 2 entities need to come to the round table, have a series of conversation, and then work towards the betterment of Grand Bahama. I think once that is done, then those 2 entities need to have a series of conversations with the stakeholders, which is the business owners on Grand Bahama Island, and to be able to hear some of their issues and their concerns, to deal with some of those issues and concerns. And then I think we would then start the real redevelopment and revitalizing of Grand Bahama. But we have government doing one thing and we have the port doing the other, and smack dab in the middle of it, who is basically getting the brunt of the pressure and being taxed left, right, and center. So I think those 2 things need to be dealt with immediately for the real revitalizing of Grand Bahama.
And it wasn't always like that, where both sides didn't talk. So what changed? Why are we where we are now?
Well, for me, I'm a youngster in the game, but the Grand Bahama Port Authority had a visionary in the person of the late Edward St. George that believed in Grand Bahama, that loved Grand Bahama and invested. And so I believe if St. George was living, Grand Bahama would have not been in the state that it was in, or it's in. He was one that went out, brought him in, and made sure that we continue to thrive. What we have now is we have the offsprings or the children of St. George and St. Jack, who's basically just inheriting a business and really, in my view, did not marry the vision of their father or their grandfather or whomever else. And now you have it where it's just, for me, it's just a business that I benefit from and not really something that I need to make happen. And so, you had the communication with the St. George and with the Prime Minister, because you heard we've heard the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram always talked about when there was a problem in Grand Bahama, him and St. George get together and they fly where they needed to go to make things happen. But now you don't have that communication line with the Prime Minister and the executives.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of them were on the committee with you. I mean, how do they feel when you say things like that? They're the offspring. What do they say? And you're not the only one who says this, by the way. So, I mean, how do they respond to this?
Well, they oftentimes respond with their response is always, it's not the way you see it. We are working, and I do believe that they are working, but I just don't believe that they're working hard enough, and I don't believe that they are passionate about the development of Grand Bahama the way that they say that they are. Mm-hmm. So they oftentimes find the justification that they are working and they're doing this, they're doing that. But it can be seen in their action. They're very, very rarely here in Grand Bahama. So oftentimes they're not even aware of some of the challenges that Grand Bahama is really going through. They pop in every now and then, but they're not here. And so they justify. But I believe that there are some that has good intentions, but they just don't have that passion.
Oh, boy. Laverne and I were struck a few weeks ago when we had Robert Adams on, the committee chair, on, and he talked about the survey that was done and how even though the government's been touting Grand Bahama as the future tech hub of the country and of the region, not everybody seems to be on board or even that interested in this. What's happening there? What can you tell us from your perspective? Why do you think that is? This was seen or is seen by some as a new pillar of the economy, potentially. Why are we getting the buy-in from the people of Grand Bahama?
I believe. Sorry. I'm saying something. I believe there are stakeholders that are selling this tech hub story. A lot of us are not buying into it. We do have the potential for growth. We do have the potential to become a tech hub, but that's not all that we have the potential for. I believe that it is a significant benefit for those persons that are pushing this venture. I believe it's the vision of someone that sits in government that wants to see this happen. But for me, I don't have much comments on it as relates to the fact that I don't see it. We have many other issues why we don't see it being a tech hub.
Darren, one of the things that I said to Dwight also is that people have to buy into it. People have to be able to see, how do I fit into this? How would this work for me? And you're not getting that. You're just getting that, we're going to make Grand Bahama the tech hub of the Bahamas. It's just words, but there's no real dialogue to say, this is how it works. This is our strategic plan. We're going to focus on this area of technology and have that real, genuine push. Buy into something that you're not getting that kind of dialogue, explanation, or that you honestly don't see any inroads to say, oh, yes, I see that they're pushing from an education standpoint. Students who are in this area, they're really pushing them. They're doing their best to invest in them. For you to even hold on to it, to say that this is something that is going to be real, that I see is coming to fruition, when it's basically just words.
Laverne, you made a very valid point, and I go further in saying, we cannot see any companies in Grand Bahama that has been formed to do this type of work. We don't see, again, no real restructuring of education system. We don't even have computer labs, functioning computer labs, and even course in schools. We don't have it. So who are you fooling when you say tech hub? You should see something. You should see something that says this is where we're going, but you don't see it.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Laverne was telling me about this yesterday, and I know this was going to be a big issue on the click-to-clear customs matter. This was supposed to come into effect. Is that today it was supposed to happen? But it's been delayed. What can you tell us about, explain to folks here who don't know what's happening here, what was supposed to happen and why this was going to likely be a problem? I think this goes back to the communication issue you talked about, but what likely could have happened had this gone into effect today?
It has been something that has been discussed in Grand Bahama for at least 3 or 4 years now. I think it's 3 years going on 4 years. Grand Bahama is a unique island. We are governed, and I said to you at the beginning, we got 2 governments, but we also have what we call a Hawksville Creek Agreement. And in that Hawksville Creek Agreement, we have something that other parts of the Bahamas don't have, and it's called a bond, a bond privilege. And so as a licensee of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, I have the privilege to apply for a over-the-counter bond or many other bonds that's available through Bahamas Customs. And so by agreement, we are considered in the Freeport area free trade zone. And so to come in with Click to Clear and the demands that they were coming with Click to Clear, the former Deputy Prime Minister made it clear when he was launching Click to Clear in the other parts of the Family Islands or the other islands of the Bahamas, that Grand Bahama won't see the rollout of Click to Clear right now because they're still working out the logistics based on the system. The system would have demanded something that the Hawksville Creek Agreement doesn't permit or doesn't allow to see happen. And so there have been many businesses in Grand Bahama that has taken Bahamas Customs and the controller to court and has won their cases that says you can't do what you want to do because based on this agreement, you are in breach. And so Click to Clear, if was launched today in Grand Bahama, you would have seen quite a bit of lawsuits that would have gone out against the controller and the government. And then those persons that didn't have the ability to do the lawsuits, you would have seen closure of many of the small businesses because of the requirements and the demands that Click to Clear came with. In Grand Bahama, we've been through so let's just talk about the recent ones. Hurricane Dorian, we've been through COVID-19. Many businesses are really surviving on a wing and a prayer.
Wow.
And so in order for me to register as a business owner to Click to Clear, I have to provide certain documentation and they have to be current. They have to be certificate of good standing. In order for me to have a certificate of good standing, I have to pay. I have to be current in my dues. And so a lot of businesses weren't current in their dues, and not because they don't want to be current, but because they cannot be current. And so in order for them to have been able to apply, they had to upload certain documents, which a lot of them didn't have. And so that would have been the first thing. You then would have had businesses that would not have been able to import goods. And Grand Bahama is an island that everything that we use, we import. And so not being able to import your goods for resale would have posed a challenge where you would have again lose some of those businesses. Dorian, you've lost quite a bit. COVID, you've lost quite a bit. And Click to Clear being launched in Grand Bahama, you would have lost quite a bit. We're not against Click to Clear. We believe that anything that could enhance the way we do business and make it better, we are up for it. But anything that's going to be launched and used that will create frustration and create anxiety, we are against it. And so what we asked the government to do was to delay Click to Clear and allow the stakeholders in Grand Bahama to be a part of the dialogue on how to build Click to Clear, how to build the system that is not working or won't work for Grand Bahama at this time. And so we were grateful that they listened. We hope that they didn't only just listen for a delay, but they now listen for the dialogue that business owners can lend their voice to the system that should be used as the ease of doing business.
All right. So, but it has only right now been delayed. Is that right? They've pushed it back a bit. How long have they given?
They said that it's been delayed until September. We believe that it will be delayed much longer than September. We believe so because of what we've learned and in digging up or because of the launch of this, we started to dig up some things that we realized that the government of the Bahamas, along with Bahamas Customs, does not have the right to do. And so we will stand on the law. There was a court order issued some year, will be used again to remind Customs and the government that what you are seeking to do won't be able to be done if you're doing it in this format. And so we believe it will be delayed longer, but it's only delayed at this time, from the words of the Minister of State for Finance, until September.
Well, any concerns about how this basically was the 11th hour, or even past 11th hour, in getting this delay, or just so close? This was only cleared up yesterday, is that right?
I can tell you it's been huge concern. It's still concerns that we do have. We did not see it being possible. We were working on this system, or fighting this system 3 months now, in being able to say to the government and to the public that if Click to Clear is implemented in Grand Bahama, you will definitely see the closure and the loss of many jobs if it's implemented, based on what we were already told, based on what we were already experiencing, based on what we were being taught as relates to it. And so again, we weren't certain that they were going to listen, but we are grateful that they did. And we are hoping that the now government and any other government moving forward will continue to have proper dialogue. What we were asking for was for them to have proper consultation and an educational campaign. One of the things that was so confusing was when you had questions, you called the Bahamas Customs office, and no one in Bahamas Customs could have given you answers. A case in point, a CB9 bond in Grand Bahama is what's used as, it's a new bond that's now being required for Click to Clear. C.B.9 bond is an over-the-counter bond. And so we were trying to figure out if the C.B.9 bond and the CB9 bond was the same bond.
Oh my goodness.
And they said yes.
Wow.
Come to find it wasn't. The CB9 bond can start from $25,000 up to $500,000. And this is surety that Customs want you to give them in having this either in the bank or having the insurance company guarantee this amount of money. And so you had the shipping companies like the Seacor, the Tropical, those big shipping companies that was being asked to put $500,000 surety in the bank in Grand Bahama. These companies have only been asked over the years to put an $80,000 surety in the bank. And now you're going up to $500,000. You reach out to Customs and you ask, where did this figure come from? And no one could have given you the legitimate or the clear answer on where it came from, other than the fact that this is what's required. But who is requiring it? And so we are, Grand Bahama business community is very grateful that the governor of the Bahamas listened to the cries of many of the businesses that reached out. I don't think one person can take the credit for what happened yesterday. I think it was the overwhelming communication and writing and calling and messaging that went out to the political leaders in Grand Bahama. And then they realized that it was just not one person crying, but it was many persons had concerns, and it was a bunch of unanswered questions.
So realistically, how long do you think you're going to need to work out all of the kinks here so that you can have Click to Clear and still be in line with the requirements for Grand Bahama?
I believe that, this is just my belief, I believe personally that won't work for Grand Bahama.
Wow.
Because of the, or let me rephrase that. I believe a portion of Click to Clear won't work for Grand Bahama, especially licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. If you look at the Grand Bahama licensees, we are exempt from what other parts of the island are paying, and that's VAT. As a licensee of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, I don't pay value-added tax. I collect it, I'm an agent, but I don't pay it because again, I fall under the free trade zone. And so Click to Clear won't work in the city of Freeport under the Grand Bahama Port Authority, which is governed by the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement. There are going to be serious repercussion and consequences if the government of the Bahamas and the controller goes ahead and launch Click to Clear. I can tell you there will be many lawsuits, and our very good attorney Fred Smith will take on many of the cases because he understands that he can win it because of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. And until the abolishment of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement is done, there won't be a Click to Clear system that will be able to function in the city of Freeport. It may be in the city of Freeport.
Wow. All right, that's a lot said there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more on the issues facing Grand Bahama and Freeport specifically. We're going to get into that. Our guest, Darian Cooper, on Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Oh, okay, you get it. When I was a rising star, West End was the place to go. Some never thought I would get this far. I thank the Lord I still got my show. Junior Wish could play that guitar. That boy could sing till he make me cry. Then it even end up to the star, Austin Grant's place. Party till the morning light, and that's no lie. Sweet home Grand Bahama. Music, please. Oh, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Grand Bahama. Music, please. Nowhere else would ever do.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? We specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send picture direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they had number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Financial experts say the government's annual budget lacks innovation, with one prominent businessman saying there is a financial Category 5 hurricane approaching this country. CFAL President Anthony Ferguson asserting that had there not been an impending election, the budget would have looked much different and would have included tax increases to offset rising debt. The 2021-20 came into effect today, July 1st. You can read more about the comments, which aired originally during Guardian Radio's Z Live, off the record with Vargo Lang right here on Guardian Radio. But you can read more in today's Guardian Business section. The credit union sector's exposure to bad credit as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic will have to be delicately managed, given that the sector is more susceptible to defaults, given the number of people in the tourism industry who utilize credit unions. That's according to Central Bank of the Bahamas Governor John Roll. Roll making his comments during an appearance on a webcast titled The Path to Recovery in the Caribbean, hosted by the financial media company Bloomberg. He explained that while commercial banks remain highly capitalized and seem to be affected less by credit exposures than was previously thought, The central bank continues to keep an eye on credit exposures at local credit unions. Governor Roll also saying that as the G20 group of nations and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development seek to change tax regimes in their favor on a global level, the Bahamas and other international financial centers will need to look at how partners with those watchdogs while protecting their sovereign interests. Roll, speaking during that webcast again, explaining that economies in the Caribbean will likely seek to make adjustments to the global corporate tax policy being considered by the OECD and the G20 as the need arises. According to Roll, regional IFCs like the Bahamas will have the greatest challenges continuing the business models they've built in the midst of the corporate tax pressures being leveled by those global bodies. And developing countries hoping to diversify their economies to supplement the tourism sector should look to knowledge-based service industries that can be managed digitally. That's according to General Manager of the Caribbean Country Department at the IDB, Therese Turner-Jones. She was speaking during that webcast yesterday as well. Turner-Jones explained that small tourism-dependent countries like the Bahamas and Barbados do not have many industries to pivot to when their main economic driver is hit by external shocks like natural disasters or a global pandemic. She added that tourism receipts in some cases are no longer sufficient enough for some countries. She explained that many countries in the region are too small to consider scaling up manufacturing and will have to lean on service industries that can be developed and traded digitally. The IDB recently held a forum on bridging the digital divide between businesses in the Caribbean and those in business linkages in the technology space. This is the direction Turner-Jones contended developing countries in the region take to grow and bolster their economies as the tourism industry, crippled by the COVID pandemic, regains its legs. Again, read more in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, in another blow to Britain's retail sector, American clothing company Gap says it will close all of its stores in the UK by the end of the year as it moves its business exclusively online. The closures will take place in a phased manner by the end of September and includes the company's outlets in Ireland. In total, 81 stores will close. It's unclear how many jobs will be affected, but the company insisted that it will provide support and transition assistance to its employees. Gap saying in a statement late yesterday that the e-commerce business continues to grow and they want to get customers where they are shopping. The retailer, which has been active in the UK since 1987 and since 2006 in Ireland, was emblematic of the quintessential American t-shirt and jeans look that was with the company's name and denim were long best-selling items. Closer to home in your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 7,500, down 11 cents to 274. Doctors Hospital moving 3,300, up 1 cent to 775. Consolidated Water down 11 cents to 235. Emir Incorporated down 3 cents to $11.09. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 1,972.76, down 14.34. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
Hello, Ma. I'd like to hear a new beat on the record.
Here you get it. When I was a rising star, West End was the place to go. Some never thought I would get.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Laverne Gardner. We are speaking with businessman Darren Cooper about the challenges facing Grand Bahama. And are you concerned that for many people, especially here in your province, this is going to be the first time they're hearing about the click-to-clear challenge there? Of course, we've had that here for a couple of years now. But people unaware that there was all this concern there. Do you have concerns about that Grand Bahama's issues are so often isolated from the rest of the country and people have no clue what's going on?
I always say it's a special case. We are governed by the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, which makes government's decision making very unique for Grand Bahama because, again, and I cannot stop saying it, we are governed by two governments. And so when the government is responsible for all of the other family islands, when there's no red tape or there is no agreement in place, government can do these things. With Grand Bahama, in the way Clip Declare was being and the way it was proposed to be used would have created for licensees of the Port Authority significant challenges. The demands that was being required would have created significant challenge. And then if the system was launched, they would have then required licensees to do something that doesn't, or that we are not permitted, or that we're not allowed, or we don't have to, the better word, do under this system. And so, for instance, as a bond company, I can purchase items in Grand Bahama duty free. And so when I purchase from a particular company an item duty free, if I do 10 purchases from different companies within that day, duty free, I then have to submit an entry, which would have cost me $50 for each entry and $10 processing fee, which in one day I would have racked up just on entry charges $500, and then just on customs charges $50, which would have been an added cost business in Grand Bahama. So those were the challenges, one of the challenges that we were concerned about. And then the demand of the bonds, the CB9 and the C.B.9 bond, where you were saying to business, we need you to put this in place and to put that in place. And that there too was a challenge. And so under the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, we are not required by law to report anything once Bahamas Customs would have stamped those entries prior to those items entering the country. We're not required by law to do anything further with that because in your system, based on your stamp, you've now created or classified these items as tax-free because of the bond. And so that's why it's different in Grand Bahama than it is in the other parts of the family islands.
Yeah.
We are unique. We're different. We're under this agreement that we are binding to.
Wow. Now, like I said, the lack of awareness of what's happening up there sometimes. Laverne this week sent me some photos, and I don't know if that's only since Dorian, Laverne, or if that's how it's been, but that was disturbing. These are some of the supermarket, the shelves aren't full.
Photos, I actually took those photos, Dwight. That day I was in the food store. So those are recent photos. That was the day I sent those to you, was the day that I was standing in the food store.
All right, so that's very disturbing. What's happening up there? This is a recent development? Is it since Dorian? Why are you having those problems?
I honestly don't know the days of shopping, but I do know that oftentimes the food stores in Grand Bahama would say that they're restocking days would be Thursday and Friday. But again, one like me don't visit the food stores. I do have good working relationship with two of them. And when I saw the post, because I think either Laverne sent them to me or she posted them and I saw it. And I did reach out to one of them. And they indicated that particular those pictures were not their stores. They are fully stocked out. I want to believe that may have been in the process of restocking, but I don't know. We are in the process. Matter of fact, today there's a job fair for one of the grocery suppliers on the island, which is opening up a mega building in the grocery industry. So I'm not too familiar or privy to the challenges in the food stores.
Mm-hmm.
So it limits me to say much.
Right.
Well, let me just say, even in response to that, as I said, when I took those pictures, I was standing in the food store, right? So I don't know if it's not their store. I don't know where I was standing because that's where I shop, right? So I'm standing in there, and I am a frequent, regular shopper at Solomon's, and so the shelves, the condition of the shelves, than the pictures that I took, it didn't just happen yesterday, today. It's been ongoing. Now, granted, after I took those photos, maybe they finally got some stock in. But I would say at Solomon's, at least, if not every week, every 2 weeks. And this has been going on for months.
Laverne, my comments weren't for Solomon. I don't know the connection in Solomon's. My comments were Sawyer's Fresh Mark and Tyler, and they would have indicated that they didn't have those challenges.
No, and to their credit, as I said to Dwight, you're left shopping at, and I won't say, well, Sawyer's necessarily, because they are building another store, but a food store, grocery store, you are left to shop at some of the smaller convenience stores. And thankfully, they have more, they've been bringing in more items than you can find it. But when you think in terms of, I guess, size on a bigger scale, it's disappointing. And that, like I said, it's been going on for months with really no answer. Because I've asked line staff, I've asked supervisors on duty, when are we getting more stock in here? What's going on? Ranged from initially from we're waiting for a shipment to, at this point now, it's just a smile and a I'm not sure. So, like, what's happening? What is going on?
Right.
Is there a shortage overall?
So is it a matter of one business compared to others, or is it a challenge for the city, for the island? Is there what can you say there? Does it seem like it's just that one business that's having the issue?
I think overall, as a shopper, we are limited. I find in my experience that we are limited in options, in choices. So you've seen that since the pandemic, you may not have as many options that you normally would have had, in your choices. So you're kind of like boxed in, I guess, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah. Wow. And we know the is different, especially in the bonded area, the Freeport area. But generally outside of that, what do we we're hitting well over $5 here in New Providence. Are you having those issues as well in the wider part of Grand Bahama?
Yes.
Go ahead, Laverne.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I really don't even look anymore because I need fuel, right? So it isn't an option. So I'm kind of like, I've set a budget where I say, okay, this is how much I need to fill my car. This is what I'm going to pay. I'm not going to focus on it because I'm looking at it, but like I said, you need fuel. So what are you going to do?
I don't feel the pain that Laverne feels. I'm laughing because, persons like myself, we purchase bonded fuel. And so when persons in duty paid vehicles are paying $100 to fill up their vehicles, we are almost paying about $40 to $50. So it almost half, because on that fuel, again, all of the taxes that is contribute to it has to be removed. We don't pay the VAT, we don't pay the duty on fuel. And so it goes back to the uniqueness of the city of Freeport.
Yeah, wow. Really quickly, and then we will need to take another break. But good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, Laverne, and Darren C. Allen Johnson. How you doing, Darren? Just a quick correction. I know we often refer to the Grand Bahama Port Authority as a supposedly quasi-government, but as under the Hawkswood Creek Agreement, we all know that it's a tripartite agreement where it is the licensees, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and the citizens of the Bahamas as represented by the government of the Bahamas. Now, and so when you look at what and I know we have somewhat of conditioning of saying that they are quasi-government, but when you look at exactly what they're supposed to be, they are supposed to be almost an economic council that serves as for the development of Grand Bahama as a whole, for the promotion and advancement of commerce on Grand Bahama, utilizing these tools that is embedded within the Hospitality Agreement. Well, the Grand Bahama Port Authority for decades have failed to operate in that capacity, and in fact, development on Grand Bahama that has happened in the last 2 decades or more. The Grand Bahama Port Authority served no role in their coming to or in their implementation except for the collection of fees from them. And so, you had the government is the one who came in, the government is the one who gave the tax concessions, and so we often have to ask ourselves, if we look deeply, what role does the Grand Bahama Port Authority actually serve in this dispensation? And so, for instance, Darren, you serve on the reef, and we have the Book of Ideas that's given to us, but there's not any type of plans or implementable and actionable strategies that has come from that, where they're saying, we're waiting for a government to do this and to do whatever. But as a promoter of a particular economic model, you don't need government to go out and promote this location of Freeport and by Grand Bahama by extension of the island. And so there's so much things that is wrong with Grand Bahama, and there's so much things that's right with Grand Bahama that is ripe for off. But I don't see that conversation happening, and then just ending up, I'd say we need to have a conversation. The people, meaning government as its representative, has to bring this to the forefront. And we need an open and transparent dialogue with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, with the government of the Bahamas, which represents us, and with the business community, so that we can actually set this right. Because Hubert Minnis said, there will be no economic recovery of the Bahamas without Grand Bahama. So that means that we should be front and center of all economic conversations going forward. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a break here. When I come back, I'm going to ask you what else you think needs to happen. And I want to ask about local government, stronger local government, real empowered local government. Do you think that could be what could change things? Less reliance on the central government. We'll get to that after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Junior Wish could play that guitar. That boy could sing till he make me cry. Then it even end up to the star, Austin Grant's place. Party till the morning light, and that's no lie. Sweet home Grand Bahama. Oh, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Grand Bahama. Nowhere else will ever do. Come cracking.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Your final look at weather for this morning. That thunderstorm watch is now a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in effect till 10 a.m. for now. And that is for the North Bahamas. A severe thunderstorm warning. We're expecting thunderstorms to continue to be severe at times, causing strong gusty winds, dangerous lightning, heavy downpours, reduced visibility, hail, and possible water spouts or tornado activity. It's all as a result of this weather that we're seeing. Tropical moisture continuing to enhance showers and thunderstorm activity as it streams across the Bahamas. High pressure generating moderate to fresh breezes over the area as well. For all areas today, look for partly cloudy to cloudy, hot and humid conditions to continue with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, again, heavy at times through tonight. High temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. The heat index still may be a factor today in the triple digits, 101 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Your extended outlook, tropical moisture will continue across the area. And for Friday, that's going to mean cloudy and overcast, warm and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, heavier at times in the northwest and central Bahamas. Saturday, partly sunny, hot and humid with in the northwest and central islands, hot and breezy in the southeastern islands with isolated showers and thunder most areas. And we are in the tropics, keeping an eye on Elsa, tropical storm Elsa, which is making its way towards the Caribbean, 865 miles southeast of the Windward Islands. Elsa moving towards the west at 25 miles per hour. On the track, the system will pass near or over portions of the Windward Islands or the southern Leeward Islands by tomorrow and then into the Caribbean Sea by Friday night and near the southern coast of Hispaniola by Saturday. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour. Some additional strengthening is forecast during the next few days. We must continue to watch that system. And that is your morning blend weather check.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
Hello, Ma. I'd like to hear a new beat on the request.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio, Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Our final few minutes, we are talking with Darren Cooper, businessman up there in Grand Bahama, getting an idea of some of the challenges facing the island, especially Freeport. So what if the Port Authority, a company, if it were similarly structured, but a local government body with elected officials as opposed to appointees, would that make a difference where the people would get to vote on the direction of the island? Would that possibly change things there and clear outlines as to what is this body's responsibility versus the central government? Could that change things? Are people considering that at all?
I'm not sure. I guess it's something that could be considered, probably even looked at. I've never looked at it in that way. But I believe anyone that is vying for an appoint or an elected position would definitely go beyond the call of duty. I think the luxury of persons in the Port Authority is, I get this position based on connection or smart, and I really don't have to go through the campaigning of it. We do have local powerful or influence they are. I really don't know, but I'm not really didn't think about the port in that view, and it's something that should be thought about in terms of if they were elected bodies. Mm-hmm. I think they would have been doing more, especially if they were what's the word? If they were fully answerable, even though they are answerable to the government, because of this African agreement, the government's not living up to its part of the agreement, and then the port says, okay, well, if you're not doing your parts, so the tit for tat, let's pass it on. And until you start doing something, you can't tell me nothing.
Yep.
Per se.
Wow. So where do we go from here? There's been so much talk. Every few years we hear this is the change now. This is the turning point. This is the time. Grand Bahama's time has come. When will it really be?
I think where we go from here is having those, like C. Allen say, having those dialogue with stakeholders, with the licensees, understanding fully what we are faced with, what we are challenged with, And when I use that word government, the port is a government, I use that because at the end of the day, those two entities, government and port, supposed to work hand in hand. Any approval in the city of Freeport goes through the Grand Bahama Port Authority and has to go to the government. And so when these two entities are not talking, if I could use that word, that's a problem. And it creates a challenge. And so I think we need to have that dialogue. Grand Bahama has the potential for great development. We have the infrastructure, we have the land, we're developed. Soon to be, God's willing, the international airport, soon to be properly renovated and rebuilt, which would then give us even more leverage to encourage persons. And I always ask, especially when I have the opportunity, what's wrong with Grand Bahama that we are not booming? That you see, again, these investments going to other family islands other than Grand Bahama. We are one of the developed islands in the Bahamas, organized and infrastructure to proper. And why we can't have to develop? Why our hotels are closed? We got 2, 3 functioning hotels out of 7 in Grand Bahama that's been closed. The Alokaya property struggling to get the full property open. Why? And so I think we need to have these serious conversations. And I think we need government representatives who are not going to be the yes or yes ma'am leaders. We need government representatives that's going to grab the bull by the horn and are going to deal with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, are going to live up to its commitment so that the Port Authority will be able to live up to their commitment. And I think until then, we'll continue to go around the cycle and the circle we've been going around because no one wants to take ownership of where we are and really begin to deal with our issues.
Yeah. Darren Cooper, thank you very much. An eye-opening discussion, a lot that many people here were not aware of that you all are facing up there. But thank you very much. Hopefully we can talk again soon. I appreciate it. And Laverne Gardner, thank you as always.
Yes, it's always a pleasure.
And we will talk again next week.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend business and Morning Blend right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock.